15-year-old Trelawny girl dies after being raped, beaten by intruders. A 15-year-old girl has succumbed to injuries in hospital after being raped and beaten during a home invasion, in which her mother and cousin were also attacked in their community of Cotton Tree, Alberttown, Trelawny. Jamila Cole, who was a student at Troy High School, died at a corporate area hospital on Monday morning. Her mother, Shanice Anderson, and her 17-year-old cousin Kayla Dawson, who were brutally battered, remain hospitalized. It is reported that on Sunday morning 2 masked men entered their home through a glass window. The men reportedly used pieces of board to beat the mother and the teen girls in their heads. Cole was raped, beaten, and left tied up in a yam field near her home. All 3 were subsequently taken to the hospital, where Cole died. Bob Marley's daughter lauded as fairy godmother of Jamaican women's football team. Melbourne, Australia, AP. The daughter of reggae legend Bob Marley is something of a fairy godmother for the Jamaica team playing in its second Women's World Cup. Cedella Marley has been a tireless advocate and fundraiser for the reggae girls and helped rescue the team after it was disbanded in 2008. Her work has paid off and Jamaica is in the round of 16. The reggae girls play Colombia on Tuesday night in Melbourne, Australia. Her support has been really important to us and she's just the heart of this team, said Jamaica player Denisha Blackwood. She's just like our fairy godmother. We just appreciate her for everything she has done so far. The Reggae Girls were disbanded after failing to qualify for the 2007 World Cup and the 2008 Olympics. In 2014, Bob and Rita Marley's eldest daughter was alarmed to learn the Jamaican Soccer Federation had stopped funding the team. Marley hoped to help the Reggae Girls reach the 2015 World Cup, but the team failed to qualify. The Marley name, Bob Marley, was a big soccer fan and player, spurred interest in the Reggae Girls despite the World Cup miss, and the team made the tournament field in 2019. The backbone of this team, all along, has been Cedella, Jamaica coach Lauren Donaldson said. Without her, and I can honestly this, because when the program was under, there was no football for the women. She was the one who pushed the start button and said, "We need to go." Man charged over attack, robbery at Ocho Rios food market. A St. Anne man was on Saturday charged in connection with the attack and robbery of another at the Ocho Rios food market last month. Winston Richmond, 46, otherwise called Pirate or Jack Sparrow, a store worker of Ocho Rios, is charged with wounding with intent and robbery with aggravation. The police say the incident happened on the night of Sunday, July 9th. It is at about 11:45 p.m. A man was sitting inside the market when he was pounced upon by Richmond, who allegedly used a piece of iron pipe to hit him several times to the head. Richmond then allegedly robbed the man of an undetermined sum of cash and a cell phone. A report was made to the police and an investigation was launched. During the investigation, Richmond was arrested. He was charged on Saturday, August 5th after he was interviewed in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Judge's absence delays Kahal Yahweh defendant's case. Western Bureau. Neil Spence, one of 14 people currently before the court following the June 30th police raid at the Kahal Yahweh religious compound in Norwood, St. James, will have to wait until September 15th to know his fate when he returns for sentencing. Spence, who was charged with assault, and whose matter is being heard separately from the other 13 defendants, got the new court date on Friday due to the absence of the judge who is to oversee the matter. Spence's sentencing hearing was expected to take place before Parish Judge Sasha Marie Ashley. However, when the case was briefly mentioned on Friday, the hearing had to be rescheduled as Judge Ashley was not present to preside over the court sitting. The presiding judge, Keisha Grant Price, also rescheduled the case of the other 13 defendants to September 15th. Spence is undergoing a separate hearing as he had voluntarily turned himself into the authorities in relation to the Kahal Yahweh incident. He pleaded guilty to the charge of assault when he appeared in court for the first time on July 19th, at which time an order was made for a social inquiry report to aid in determining his eventual sentence. Meanwhile, the other 13 defendants, Rebecca Gallimore, Christopher Anderson, Acacia Harding, Derek Clark, Rona Lee Maitland, Alicia Medley, Fabian Nelson, Franchane Paris, Jodian Spence, Jose Foskian, Oral Spence, Rayon Letman, and Ingrid Williams, are charged with breaches of the Child Care and Protection Act, to which they have pleaded not guilty. They are represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagne. On June 30th, 20th members of the Kahal Yahweh religious group were detained by the police in a joint special operation of the security forces at their Paradise Avenue, Norwood compound in Montego Bay. The raid was conducted in response to reports of assault and child abuse taking place at the compound. Prior to the police operation, 23 children were removed from the compound on June 7 by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. The children, aged 1 to 17 years, were subsequently placed in state care. Russian court imposes 3 to 6 year sentences for distributing tainted drinks that killed 44. Moscow AP. A Russian court on Monday sentenced 7 defendants to as little as 3 years in prison for distributing methanol-tainted drinks that killed 44 people. The court in Yekaterinburg, Russia's fourth-largest city, convicted the 7 of charges including the sale of goods that do not meet safety requirements and resulted in the deaths of 2 or more people. Sentences ran from 3 to 6 years. Prosecutors said the 7 had illegally sold alcohol since 2020 and that in 2021 they sold drinks containing excessive amounts of methanol, which is commonly used as a solvent. A total of 51 people were sickened by the drinks, of whom 44 died.